Correct.
So how often do you think, because we spoke about a little bit about that confusion side, which is great, and I think you can easily bring that back into play. So how often would expectations be reviewed?
Yeah. Well, they need to be really nutted out, clearly defined at the onboarding process. So that's number one. And even before you select the new hire or promote the person, you as the manager need to be aware, what do you actually want to achieve out of this role? What is going to be the responsibilities, the duties, the targets, etc. And then when you have someone start, make sure that's really clear to them. And that's where a really strong onboarding process to set them up for success from day one in their role. Don't just go, oh, here's your computer, this is what I need you to do, because don't assume that people will know. They're new to your organization, they could be new to the industry. So that is very, very critical for success from day one. And that's where you use a strong probation period and process to make sure that they're aligned, because I'm sure we've all recruited or been recruited for a role at some point where there's the alignment's a little bit off. But if you have those conversations early on, then you're going to be able to work through it in a much better way. Anytime there's a change in the position, the nature, or the business that alters, that's when you should review and expectations should be laid out again. Um, I personally don't like to say a time frame because each business, the pace, the industry is going to be different. But at a bare minimum, you should be making sure as a business at least every 6 months. That's a bare minimum to make sure, because you don't want people just coasting away and they're in one direction and you're on another.
Correct.
Um, and it should be an ongoing informal conversation through your catch-ups, whether that's weekly, daily, monthly, whatever that is.
Yep.
Expectations should be a living conversation, not just something that opens and shuts in a formal meeting. Um, if the business is changing fast, well, then roles are going to change fast and expectations. So you need to make sure that you, again, don't just come to the assumption that the team members are on board. You, from a senior management level, might be, but doesn't mean that the team underneath are across all the detail or up at the same speed as you, because generally they're
Yep.
not. And a lot of people, from an employee perspective, are too afraid to speak up. Now, I
Yes.
can sit here and go, but they should. That's, you're an adult type of thing, but not everyone will. I've had a situation recently, just a simple request. I've had to coach an individual through asking a question, raising this issue to management, because people just sit back and accept, even if the acceptance is the wrong thing to do.
Yep. Yep. I'd agree 100%. And I think, putting on, again, it's triggering a couple of things. And I know we're going to get to performance reviews and so on soon. But one of the things that when I'm coaching a lot of the businesses, the accounting firms that I work with, even the financial services, I talk to them about a 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. So I like to break things up into 90 days because it's easy. We've got a financial year, we've got a calendar year. So great, there's 2 6 month periods. So, and I like to say, well, let's have a 3 month casual chat where I used to love, and I do it personally and as well as I coach it. I say, well, let's just go out for a coffee. Okay, so you're not going to a formal boardroom. We just got to think things like that can sometimes be intimidating for team members. So if you go out for a casual coffee, hopefully they drink coffee,
Yeah.
but nowadays there's so many options. You just go and have a chat. You just go and have a chat. It's not a formal review. It's a review, and you're just making sure that team members are aware of what their expectations are. Then the 6 month might be more of a semi-formal. 9 month, another chat. Let's just go and have another chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are
And
just
you'll
little
find,
things.
yeah,
Go.
sorry, Paul. And
No,
you'll
no.
find you'll get so much more out of that individual creating that type of environment. And as you said, some people it can be quite overwhelming coming to a structured boardroom type of thing. So think about the individual, their culture, their personality, what makes them tick type of thing, and then and use your knowledge of them to benefit the outcome through the way you create. that
That's a really good point. That's right.
environment.
Because a lot of people, and you sort of said it before as well, a lot of people don't like conflict, so that's how they see it. And they get all nervous and, so our job is sometimes as a manager is to release that. And because that's where we get the creative juices flowing. One of the
Yeah,
questions that I always ask people, I'm not doing your role, Jenna, but you're doing your role as a manager. Where do you think we can become better? If you're in
yeah.
my job, what do you think we could do to make your job better?
Correct. And it's a bit like I used to have an employee report to me, and on Teams, I'll go, hey, you got 5 minutes to chat. Now that I just want to ask them a question, simple, easier than email and chat. But the anxiety that created, I learned, oh my God, they just want to have 5 minute chat. You know what's happening. Oh, it's just, hey, how do you do this? Or I need your help. So then I learned, hey, can I catch you for 5 minutes about X, Y, Z? And then, but that's
Correct.
not everyone I need to do that with, but understanding your triggers of your team members is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in, today's times where there's the cost of living is increasing, job security is important.
Mm.
So the first thing they think, oh shit, I'm in trouble. What have I done wrong?
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you, with most of the businesses where I've been involved in personally, as well as coaching, that's the first thing they think. What have I done wrong?
100%.
When
100%.
all we're looking for is, no, we just want to pick your brain. We just want to work
Yeah.
out, you're involved in this process. How do you reckon we can make it better?
Yeah. Correct.